Okay, hi guys, welcome to Oru Kural.
So today we're going to be discussing Tamil identity and generational differences. Like, what is Tamil identity to you as someone who's obviously born here in the West?
Yeah, I feel like Tamil identity is so complex because it really depends on the strength of your identity depends on how you grow up, where you grow up. Because obviously in London there's like hotspots of where Tamil people are.
Yeah.
Like you're from South, the area you're from has a lot of Tamil people. I grew up in Forest Gate. The schools I went to had no Tamil people, nothing like that. So it was very much an area where I was secluded from that Tamil population.
Yeah.
I feel like when you look at us after we've grown up, not to say you're a coconut, but I would say that I have a little bit more of a connection to my Tamil side than you do. When you're younger and you don't know how to speak, your relatives might take the piss every now and then, or like they'd ask like, say this, say that, like long ass Tamil words that I just couldn't say. Like, it used to be too school home with my family.
Discouraging.
It is, and it used to discourage me so much. The only reason I got into like really learning Tamil and really being obsessed with it was when I started watching Tamil films, because I really wanted to understand it without having to rely on subtitles. But I think again it's just that thing of like don't want judgment, because then when you grow up and you come to like university, now you have all these Tamil societies and you have like these groups of Tamil people, and you meet Tamil people that actually have perfect Tamil or have amazing Tamil and they're so connected with their culture. And when you speak to them and you suddenly don't know how to speak, you're like, oh, am I a coconut? Like, oh my god, you have this judgment.
Don't you just look at me up and down?
No, I didn't mean you.
I'm taking this.
So like, you don't want that feeling, because even I know that I say that to you, and you might feel like, oh, what the hell. But sometimes I'm like, do I not know enough? Like, do I get that? And that's crazy, because you sometimes say to me, oh, like you're so Tamil, you're so Tamil. But sometimes I feel like that disconnects as well, and I feel like that I missed out because I didn't go to Tamil school, I didn't grow up with Tamil people. So there's just that massive disconnect.
Do you know what it is? I think there's like kind of like two different types of how you kind of stay connected to your identity, I think. I feel like for you, your connection to Tamil identity and Tamil culture is personal. It's your personal connection through your mum, through your family. Whereas for me, my connection is dance and like Tamil school and all of the community stuff that I've done in my life. Like, it's that stuff.
I feel like with the diaspora, the thing is that you can either connect through the culture, you can immerse yourself in the culture, because obviously it's so beautiful, and now it's getting so much more recognition. Like, you have stuff like Never Have I Ever. You see more Tamil representation, like seeing it in Bridgerton and stuff like that. You're like, come on, like I love seeing Tamil people. But for me, again, like you said, it's much more like the connections. One thing I always wondered was, I was always scared, like, what if my kids never get to learn? Like, the idea of like one day our generations and the future generations, it's a lot of pressure, because it's actually like, what if my kids don't speak Tamil?
Like, it's the continuation of our entire existence. One thing that I want to pick up on that you said is about Bridgerton and Never Have I Ever. Like, I think the conversation about Tamil identity, I feel like for the past 10 years or so has been on kind of looking at fitting in the West and that kind of stuff. Whereas I feel like now we're in a space where it's being integrated into Western culture, Western society, as you said, with Bridgerton, with the wearing jimmicky and stuff like that, and like in Never Have I Ever with the songs playing. Like, it's so casually integrated now. Yeah. I think it's stepping away from that and more so looking at what are the intricacies, what does it look like me labelling myself as a British Tamil person, as opposed to being simply just Tamil.
Because you've got two different types. You've either got someone that thinks I'm British but at the same time also Tamil, and you've got someone like me that I don't consider myself British. I don't connect with British culture. I wouldn't say I'm a British Tamil person. I know that you said that, but for me it's like, I used to beef about this in school with one of my teachers. She was like, no, you're a British person. But I'm like, I'm British by nationality. But I don't have a connection to my Britishness. For me, I'm very much so, I'm a Tamil person, I'm a Tamil woman. Like, I live here, it's so multicultural. So it's really just depends on who you are. Because we were talking about this before, like grouping yourself as South Asian. Like, we're so distinct. I think Mike talked about this as well. She was like,
specificity.
Yeah, why do you need to talk about being specifically Tamil? The reason I'm so passionate about making sure we continue with Tamilness is because, you know, either Tamil people, we went through so much. And like, that threat to the fact that people didn't want Tamil language to survive, they don't want our cultures to survive, having stuff like the library burning down, people don't want our history to survive. I think Maggie was saying, she's like, I'm a coconut, I might not be able to say everything, but it doesn't take away from me being Tamil.
That's the thing.
And it doesn't take away from you being Tamil at all. You try to have a conscious connection with your like ethnicity, you try to have
like you're Tamil first before anything else.
Exactly. Even if you don't, it doesn't take away from it. I feel like making that effort to like maybe learn a bit more Tamil.
One thing that I get really angry about the older generation, like our parents' generation, is that they kind of like scream at us and our generation for not trying harder. But it's like, you're asking us to try harder, but where is the environment for us to try?
I mean, even talking about the generational gap, there's so much. Like, if we're going to talk about what it means to be a Tamil identity, I feel like so much of older generation Tamil is caring about what sometimes is what other people say. I'm so happy that my parents grew out of that, and my family are so away from that. I have so many friends now at uni that their parents are really strict with them, and it's not because like my mum was really careful with me growing up, because she would tell me it's because I don't trust you, but I know how people are out there.
It's more like a safety.
Yeah, it's also a safety for you, and like, she's telling me why. So then I understood, and I was like, okay, if my mom's worried about me and she's bending my line late at night, it's because she knows that something can happen to me. But there were people that I knew that their parents would literally be like, oh, such an artakari, like they'll shout at them being like, why are you late out late?
They're not explaining the proper reasoning.
And that's why, and like I would say now that I'm older, like I will consciously, when I have the choice to go out late at night, I will make that conscious choice not to, because I'll be like, do you know what?
Yeah, because you're aware. This is the thing, like, I think the biggest difference between what your mum did versus, I would say, like typical Tamil parents did, is she gave you autonomy, she gave you the choice. She said, okay, you can go out, but here's what happens, here's what the risks are, now you make that choice. She put that in you, as opposed to taking away what is seen as a privilege, which is what I think Tamil parents do. Because as we've seen in school, when you take a privilege away from someone, they just want that more. And then when they go to uni...
Exactly, but it's also just not explaining that threat. So then, exactly like you said, as soon as they go to uni, they're like, okay, I'm going to go, I'm going to do all of this. And then all the horrible things happen because they don't think it's... You don't
know that's going to happen, you're not aware.
Oh my God, I just want to go out, It comes down to genuinely Tamil parents focusing so much on what would other people say, instead of being like, let me focus on my child. Every single step my parents were so supportive, and because of that I have so much more connection to them, to my culture, to my family. It makes me closer to them. That's what annoys me when Tamil parents say, oh, but my kid doesn't speak to me, my kid doesn't have attention, because you're not creating that, you're not fostering a welcoming environment. Like, there were so many conversations that, like, let's be honest, Tamil parents have a lot of backward thinking for a lot of things, stuff like when there's male relatives over, like what the woman should be doing, like, oh, put you this thing or put her this thing. When we were younger, my brother would be like, give me some water. Mum would be like, put you single. And I'm like, what do you mean? But like that generational thing, it comes from, that's how they were treated when they were back home. That's how their culture stems. It still fosters this environment of always, like, for example, especially in the women and men thing, always making excuses for men's behaviour, or like, when you say stuff like that, next thing is, oh, my husband slapped me, oh, well, you know, men get aggressive. Yeah, and it's stuff like, you're making excuses for people.
That's literally what Vasanthra was saying in our interview for International Women's Day, and it's so true.
I see it happen in front of me, and I see how the husband will treat their wives. I know exactly the relatives know who this is, because I think that's why I'm so happy that me and my sister, my mum raised us to be very bold and always speak our mind. Like, the Tamil aspect of that, my mum always said, always speak out when you see something wrong. So whenever we see that, I always see how a lot of Tamil men control, not control, but it's a form of control, isn't it? When their wives don't work and stuff like that, it's financial freedom, things like that. But also, like, I see so many Tamil uncles drinking like insane. Like, alcoholism, please, that's not.
Alcoholism is a problem in our community.
Yeah, so when you, like, we would go to these like functions, these events, or sometimes we just go to their houses, and these uncles would just be drinking, and the women would just be sitting there, like, waiting for them, or like serving them. And I'm thinking in my head, and they have kids, and you have a child in your house, that's the point you put your foot down. I wish these women would put their foot down, because that's how you bring generational control. That's how you stop this thing of, because their kids will grow up and think that's normal. Like, I know that in the future, if my husband was an alcoholic and coming home every day and like not giving me that security, I will know when to put the foot down. I don't care if that makes me some psycho bitch of a wife in the future. I don't care, because it's the boundaries that I've set. That's what's breaking generational trauma, is sitting there and being like, you took this, maybe you took this for so long, I'm not going to take it, and you shouldn't have to take it. Like, it breaks my heart when I see all these women that are so, like, you have so much intelligence, that you accomplished so much in life. Back home, you were a doctor, you were studying to be this, that. Obviously, horrible circumstances that made you come to this country.
Literally talking to my mum about this the other day.
Like, my mum studying to be a doctor, heart surgeon, amazing, so smart. Horrible conditions made her come to this country, but just because you did that, you don't give up all your autonomy just because you've come to this country trusting someone else.
I literally wrote up about this guy.
Yeah, like, you have your own, like, autonomy, you have your own rights.
But I think that also proves the point, because it's like, men always like, oh my god, not all men, not all men. Exactly, not all men. That is why we're saying that we're not going to allow this weaponized incompetence to continue, because there are competent men out there. You can do it, you can behave.
No, because you're just choosing not to. I think one thing that separates the older generation from our generation and being Tamil, we're talking about being Tamil in this fora, is realistically, a lot of, if you look at these traditional families that came here, the mums at home doing stay-at-home stuff, man's going out making the money, coming back home. So that works for them. Their dynamic works for them. Oh yeah, my wife does this for me because she's a housewife. But let's talk about this day and age where I'm going to university, I'm taking out a massive loan, I'm in debt for 40, 30, whatever. If I'm doing medicine, I'm 50, 60 grand in debt. I'm not doing all of this for fun. I didn't struggle through university in COVID, go through A-levels. But to sit there and be a housewife, I did
exactly.
The woman inside of me, I'm a very maternal person, you know this. So of course one day I will want kids, one day I will want to be a wife, but when I have a kid I'll drop out. No, but I'm saying I'll drop out, I'll take a break from my career. I get it. But you don't, like, you do not send your kid to university and make them study and put this pressure on them to then as soon as they turn 22, 23 be like, when are you getting married, just because you want on your invitation card to say Muslim the yoga model and then MD or whatever it is on the side. In the family model that we have now, realistically the woman will also, it's a dual income household, and actually it makes it easier for men when the woman and the man works. So it means that we both help out. No, but in my opinion, I feel like, because I studied this stuff and I studied that women do so much more unpaid labour. It's like the second shift.
Oh yeah, this is why I advocate, because I know like even after taking it out, like I got a whole load of shit about being called a gold digger and whatever. The reason why I'm such a big advocate for women working less in relationships and a man earning more is because there is so much unpaid labour I and other women are going to do throughout that relationship that we're just going to go unrecognised for. Childcare, keeping the house clean, doing all of these things. And I know men will come and be like, oh my god, we can do that too, so why don't you?
Like, okay, if why aren't you? I'm a strong believer that there are there are obviously differences, and when it comes to childcare, I'm completely, and so are most women, that when I give birth to a child, I'm the one that has to do childcare because I'm the primary caregiver. Again, don't come from me, I studied this, so I don't want to hear anyone of this nonsense. Like when it comes to things like breastfeeding, when it comes to things like that skin contact, I'm gonna have to look after my kid.
Yeah, I think something like the baby needs that skin contact with the mother instantly.
And when I won't be working for that time, I'll take some time out and I'll focus on my kid. But that means that you then need to help out with the domestic work. Yeah, you need to
step up.
And I wouldn't sit there and say that, because I think it would drive me crazy, because again, like I said, I worked so hard to get a career and I'm very passionate about having a career in politics and stuff like that. So realistically, I will work and we'll have a dual income, and I think it will make your life easier. But I think it's just because, and this is why I'm talking about it being a generational thing, just because you see your family model and you think, okay, typically it's the woman that does all this stuff. I think you should think, my mother didn't work, but my wife works, so let me help out.
And I think this kind of goes into the original conversation about Tamil identity in Western spaces, because especially when it comes to marriage, because obviously I've been very open about that. I potentially want an arranged marriage, and whenever I've spoken to my parents about it, it's always like, but are you too Western? Are you too modern? Are they going to accept you? You chose to come to the UK. You know that there are going to be external influences on your child. They go to school. They're going to be in Western culture and community. So they're going to adopt certain mindsets. And this is my issue. Like, I don't understand why people can't adjust to that, especially when it comes to relationships and a woman's role.
But I think that's about finding someone that's also westernized. I feel like
this is what I'm saying. I think it's their standards of what is westernized, because to me, obviously, arguably I'm quite Western, but I don't see myself genuinely as whitewashed. I don't think I'm whitewashed. If I was to date a white man, I promise you we wouldn't have much in common. But like, to so many Tamil men, I am, because of my attitudes and things I say, because I'm a feminist. Like, especially when it comes to women, I think the standard of what's Western is completely different.
People might think that because you have this feminist thing that you scream about, people think, oh, because obviously there's so much flack that you get for doing all of that stuff, and I think I
put it up on myself. Like, let me just say this now, guys. Like, most of the times when I say shit, it's a joke. Like, I don't care.
But I think you haven't worded yourself. I don't think you've been given a position to word yourself.
Yeah, because no one's given me the chance to fucking explain. Like, this is one thing I think when you're a woman in some community and you have an opinion. Because even you mentioned the fact that you get called a Vicardi, like instantly you're labelled. Instantly, that's it. Closed off. No conversation. No nothing. Like, there's no room to delve into. Why do I think that? Why am I saying this? What's going on here? Whereas, like, and I really don't want to bring up like this whole men versus women, but like, especially in the community, when men do something, like, no one holds them to share. No one sits there and scrutinizes them. They can come back from the ashes and talk again.
Because the best example that happens here, happens in India, happens in Sri Lanka. a woman gets catcalled, a woman gets raped, a woman gets sexually assaulted. Oh, he's a bad guy, yeah. But that's the shit that happens. That's
and then you're asked.
Yeah. We went to India, like, so the way my mom was raised and again, generation trauma, like, my mom would always be like, yeah, but don't go out like that because of course they're going to look, like, just be careful. And it took so many years of me and my sister challenging that, and I think that's what we need to start doing. The one thing my friend always told me was like, it's your parents' first time of being parents in this life. We can't expect your parents to just come here, and the same way we came and assimilated, like if we go back to Sri Lanka, we need to be able to assimilate, of course, and there's things that we need to listen to them. Same way, they're not going to know like automatically how to assimilate. Like they came here with the new environment, of course. So it's our job to challenge them. You can't sit there and let your parents say stuff that's racist, say stuff that's
you have to educate.
You have to educate, but you can educate in a polite way. I'm not saying sit there and just fight with your parents, but just be like so many times my dad or my mum would say something like, for example, me and my sister, if we see a woman getting catcalled, we would go intervene. My dad would always say, don't do that, I'll be safe, and I'm like, what if they come and scream at you? And we'd be like, yeah, but I'd rather have helped them than gone off and then heard that something bad happened to her, because I'd live with that guilt. And after that, my dad does the same thing and he challenges that.
This thing, like, I know like a lot of like Tamil kids kind of excuse their parents and leave it to, oh my god, it's just their generation, they're old, they're never gonna learn, da 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 da. But like they can learn, and it's like, this is the thing, as you said, like just simply questioning those thoughts. No one's asking you to like scream at your parents.
No, of course not. And obviously, I think that's what I like about Asian culture in general, is that we have that respect, because of course your parents, you respect them. Especially one thing I used to never understand is just because they're older doesn't mean, I don't get why you respect them, but as you get older you realise you've gone through so much in life. Like my parents in their 40s, 50s, like you've gone through so much in life, but of course you're coming from a place of experience, and there's been so many things in my life that I've been like, do you know what, my mum told me this and I didn't listen to her, and now I'm facing the consequences. I think it just comes to challenging with respect and reason, and I think that's when you close generational gaps, is by being that transparent. Even when it comes to like, what when we said in the start, what would other people think? Just challenge them, be like, who cares? Because realistically, like, I know so many people that they will be like, they will come to like mess my mom and be like, you know, did you hear this? Did you hear that? But realistically, I know that their kid is doing that nonsense and not even university. Like, I know that their kids are doing madness. I would never snake on them, and that's the thing. It's like, if you need to challenge that, like I challenge my mum and say, Mum, don't entertain that. If she's told you something, just leave it.
Yeah, exactly.
And she listens, and she does. My mum doesn't entertain anything either, and my mum doesn't care what other people think. But because she knows that we're sensible, we're not going to do nonsense.
Yeah, and like this is another thing as well. Like just a message to parents. I think like trust your kids and build that trust relationship with them, because as you said with your mum, like your mum trusts you, so she's not gonna believe some rando on the phone saying her kid's doing this, that, the other.
But I will say that trust takes time. So I think if you've spent like, let's say 16 years, your kid is now 16, and all 16 years, like you've been such a authoritarian parent, proper going down on them, being strict for no reason, stuff like that. At that point, your kid now goes to university, you can't expect to trust them, they trust you, because your kid would, like, let's be honest, I said this to mom all the time, kids will always find a way to rebel. Same way when you were younger, you would have found a way to rebel.
Like people are curious, and like this is the thing.
But it's about creating a space that saves them, but also like, there's so many dumb stuff that I was like when I was 15, my friends wanted to go on a holiday, and I was like, Mum, let me go to another country. At 15, I wanted to go to another country by myself. Like, I know maybe that's normal for other people, but for me that's ridiculous. Because
I think that's ridiculous for other people.
No, but I would have been so scared, and I was so angry when my mum was like, no. I was like, no, and I cried for days. And my mum sat me down and she's like, this is why, because you're in a foreign country, you don't speak that language.
This is what I'm saying, like it goes back to what we were saying earlier, like it's simply just being able to give them the resources to make conscious choices.
Build conversation, like, everything just comes from conversing about things. Like me and my mum, we can talk for days. But that's so good because it's taught me so much.
And this is the issue with the Tamil community. We don't have enough conversations.
We don't.
And that's why we're doing this.
The Tamil community so much. I'm only talking about that because that's the only community that we know. It's so much is better to be silent than... do you know what I mean? It's just speak and make other people uncomfortable. But I would rather make someone uncomfortable and challenge their thinking and create a better future for for their kids and for the life that I want to live and stuff like that. When it comes to diaspora and when it comes to Tamil identity, your family is realistically, and your community is what you have that ties you to being Tamil. And within being Tamil and being all of that, you have those generational gaps, and that they only get closed by having conversations. And
this is the thing, and I think that's literally why we started Oru Kural, to start those conversations, because if it doesn't happen now, the cycle is just going to continue, and like really and truly it needs to end at our generation.
Yeah, of course.
It needs to end at our generation. So
I think this kind of space is good because it gives people that it's comforting to know. Even when I speak to you and you're like, oh my god, it's comforting to know that you're not going through that by yourself.
Literally. And that's how, like, whenever you think about like how most Tamil girls form friendships and relationships,
it's how it happens.
We're always like, oh my god, yeah, your parents are strict, oh my god, same.
Yeah,
like,
it's shared experience.
And like, I know white people are looking at us like we're crazy, but it's like, girl, live our lives. But yeah.
So I think that brings us to the end of our discussion about Tamil identity.
And generational differences. We will be posting every single week discussing loads of different things that affect Tamils living in the West and within the diaspora, and just looking at kind of issues that affect us. It can be absolutely anything, so if you guys have any suggestions, message us on our social media. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok because we will be having updates, and also once the academic year starts, hopefully we should be having a few events for you guys. So stay tuned.